Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into the very idea of a modern career.
Yeah,
Because for decades, the path was it was clear, right? The career ladder.
totally clear. Linear, predictable. It was all defined by the company you worked for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that model well, it's broken. So today we are unpacking this revolutionary shift to what Conor Lynch calls the assets ladder in his book, Learn, Earn, Own.
And our mission here is really to give you a complete shortcut. We're going to extract the critical mindset shifts, the actionable frameworks you need to stop climbing, someone else's structure and start building your own.
And we're not easing into this one. We have to start with the moment that really crystallized this whole thing for Lynch.
Oh, this story's fantastic.
You have to appreciate the irony. So picture this. Lynch is running this full-throttle guerrilla marketing campaign for an old Irish soft drink, Cavan Cola. It was so effective he even did a fake radio interview as his alter ego.
Right, Don Lee. But the real kicker, the audacity of it, is that his day job was at a major marketing agency handling the Coca-Cola campaigns in Ireland.
So he's running a competing side hustle. And not just any side hustle, a really successful one.
A very successful one. He was even using Coca-Cola's iconic fonts on his competitors' T-shirts. I mean, talk about divided loyalty.
It's the ultimate collision. The corporate plan versus the personal plan.
And, of course, it cost him the corporate job.
It did. But here's the core insight. He didn't see it as a failure or getting laid off. He reframed it right away as a pivotal learning opportunity.
Exactly. That choice, his own agency over the corporate structure, that's what defines this whole new paradigm.
And it sets up the guiding philosophy he uses for the entire book.
The Terence McKenna quote, "If you don't have a plan, you become part of somebody else's plan."
Which is, that's what the old ladder guarantees, right? You are always part of someone else's plan.
Always. The assets ladder is about taking that control back.
Okay, so let's start there. Let's analyze why the old ladder isn't just outdated, but actually, actively dangerous now.
We have to start with the data. The data just screams systemic failure.
Right.
The research from Gallup, which he cites all over the book, shows a staggering figure. 85% of employees globally say they're disengaged at work.
85%. That's not a business challenge. That's a societal epidemic. It confirms what so many people feel every Monday morning.
You don't get that number without a fundamental flaw in the structure itself.
So what's the flaw?
The flaw, as Lynch identifies it, is dependency. The traditional model forces you into this endless cycle.
Time for money trade.
The time for money trade, exactly. You are perpetually building value, momentum, equity. But for the company, you build zero real ownership for yourself.
And when you're just trading time for money, you're a cost center.
You're a cost center, easily replaced, which is why that line, "safe careers are no longer safe," just hits so hard.
The job for life is dead. It's been replaced by corporate structures that, they have to prioritize shareholder value over employee loyalty. In that world, dependency is the fatal flaw.
The writing's on the wall. We're seeing predictions that the 9-to-5 could be extinct in the next decade.
And it's not just fringe thinkers saying this.
No.
The co-founder of LinkedIn, Reid Hoffman, he predicts that independent workers will be 50% of the entire workforce soon.
And this just totally reframes the great resignation of 2021. It wasn't just a mass quitting event. It wasn't just frustration.
It was a redesign.
It was a collective global redesigning of work. People realized that dependency means trading your freedom for, really, an illusion of security.
So if dependency is the enemy, ownership has to be the ultimate security.
That's the core lesson. Yeah. Security doesn't come from building on what the book calls rented land.
Someone else's company.
Right. True resilience comes from proactively building your own assets, things that give you options and income independent of any single employer.
And the ceiling for what you can build on your own is it's radically higher than it's ever been.
It is. Lynch points to Sam Altman's vision that we might soon see billion-dollar single-person companies.
$1 billion. One person.
With automation, with AI, you can scale a business without hiring hundreds of people.
That completely changes what a single person can achieve. It fuels the rise of these micropreneurs and multipreneurs, people scaling incredible value without a massive headcount.
And even if you stay as an employee, the message is clear.
Yeah.
You have to be building assets on the side. It's essential career insurance.
Which is why we need a new map. The old career ladder is linear. It's limited.
The assets ladder.
Yeah.
It's multilinear, it's built for leverage, and it provides that new map.
Okay, let's get into the centerpiece framework then. The assets ladder. It's the solution. It visualizes progression based on what you own, not just your job title.
Right. And the first thing is just defining what an asset even is in this context. You have your financial assets, stocks, property, the usual stuff.
Sure.
But the real focus has to be on career assets, and these come in two forms.
We hear that term, career assets, thrown around a lot. We need specifics. What makes a skill or a relationship an actual, leverageable asset?
Great question. So the first type is intangible assets. Skills, reputation, your network. But a skill only becomes a true asset when it's packaged and sold digitally or leveraged outside of your main job.
I see.
And a relationship isn't just networking. It's an asset if it leads to, say, co-founder equity or guaranteed high-value referrals where you don't need to do any cold outreach.
So it's about converting the intangible into something that has value even when you're not actively working it.
Precisely. And the second type is tangible assets. Products, services, IP, code, these are the things that can generate cash flow while you sleep.
This duality, it captures that Stephen Bartlett, quote, Lynch uses.
The richest people don't trade their time for money, they trade their time for assets.
Yes. So let's use this framework to map out the 5 career roles. It gives you a sense of where you are now and where you can go.
Okay, so level 0, you have the seekers. He calls them career explorers. They're searching, maybe between jobs, and they're focused on building those intangible assets, refining skills, getting clear on their direction.
Then level 1, workers, traditional employees. They trade time for money. Lynch defines them as having 0% ownership of the business assets they're building.
They're on the rented land.
Exactly.
The critical leap is level 2, partners. And this one is often overlooked. These are people who co-own projects. They de-risk new ventures by collaborating, sharing ownership, using complementary skills. It's that first step towards genuine ownership without taking the full leap alone.
But hold on, isn't finding a partner and setting up a joint venture? I mean, that's incredibly difficult, right? How does the book account for the difficulty of going from level 1 to level 2?
It does. It emphasizes starting small. Focus on learning projects, which we'll get to, and prioritize trust and clear IP sharing from day one. It's a crucial stepping stone because it gives you experience with ownership mechanics, legal stuff, profit sharing all while you still have your job.
Okay, that makes sense. Then level 3 is owners, self-employed.
Yeah.
100% ownership.
Your freelancers, consultants, solo entrepreneurs, they control their own destiny, but they're often still trading time for money.
And then level 4 is the goal state. The multiplier.
The multiplier. This is where you're managing multiple career activities at once. You might be a high-paid worker and an owner. You use the income from your job to fund your asset creation. It's about diverse, resilient income streams.
That multiplier status. It sounds incredible, but it also sounds exhausting. Isn't this model just a recipe for burnout, forcing you to work 2 full-time jobs?
That's the tension. But Lynch argues the risk of inaction is now greater than the risk of that short-term effort.
Right.
The key to the multiplier isn't just working 100-hour weeks. It's building assets that have nonlinear returns. When you're a worker, you're paid linearly. But as an owner, and especially as a multiplier, you can get paid exponentially based on the quality of the asset, not the hours you put in.
That clarity helps a lot.
Yeah.
So the old ladder is linear and dependent. The assets ladder is multilinear and designed for independence. And this whole system is powered by the learn, earn, own cycle.
This cycle is the engine. It's continuous, it's lifelong, and it compounds. You learn something, which helps you earn, which helps you build assets you own, and then those assets give you more resources for the next learning phase.
Let's really drill down into the start of that, the learn phase, because this is where anyone listening can take action today. What's the difference between just passive learning and a real learning project?
Passive learning is taking a course to get a certificate. Active learning, a learning project, is an intentional experiment designed to build, test, and crucially share something.
Visibility. Why is that so important at the learning stage?
Because the goal of learning now isn't just about the skill, it's about building 2 assets at once, the skill and an audience. So starting a blog, designing a prototype app, recording a video series about a new AI tool, they force you to produce a visible, measurable result. That attracts attention and it builds your reputation, a core intangible asset.
It's like proving out loud. You're iterating and publishing the results, which is way more valuable than just reading a book in private.
Absolutely. Then, once you prove the concept, you move to earning projects. This is where you prove that your new skill has actual market value.
This validates all that effort, like taking on a small freelance gig or selling a simple digital template. What's the psychological breakthrough here?
It's that mindset shift. The very first payment you get that isn't from your main job,
Yeah.
that one moment proves you aren't solely reliant on a corporation. You realize, I can generate value on my own. That shift from an employee to an entrepreneurial mindset is worth more than the actual cash.
And the ultimate goal is owning projects. This is the leverage piece. This is where you package that validated idea into something that generates value while you sleep.
Exactly. Digital courses, books, standardized services, apps, membership communities, they all embody that core principle of leveraging systems and capital to multiply your output.
This is where that Naval Ravikant quote comes in. Earn with your mind, not your time.
And Daniel Priestley's insight that just simplifies the whole path, income follows assets. If you focus on building the assets, the income is a natural result.
Let's make that concrete. Take a physical therapist. How does that cycle work for them?
Okay, so a physical therapist learns new telehealth methods, maybe studies some software, records some practice videos.
Right.
Then they earn by offering high-value virtual consultations to a few clients. They prove the model.
And then they own.
Then they own by packaging their expertise into a subscription service. Standardized exercise guides, equipment reviews, a premium community forum. They've gone from trading an hour of their time for money to leveraging a packaged digital asset.
That journey just perfectly sums up that Stephen Bartlett timeline from the book.
Your 20s are for learning, your 30s are for earning, your 40s are for owning.
It gives you a long-term strategic map.
And what makes this map so relevant is seeing how many people, real people, have built assets while they still had a traditional job. These aren't just fantasy stories. They are blueprints.
The case studies are so important. They prove you don't have to quit your job to start building this engine. I mean, look at Ben Francis. He started Gymshark, now a billion-pound brand, while he was a student delivering pizzas.
Or Nick Jenkins. He built Moonpig, which sold for over 120 million pounds while working full-time as a commodity trader. These people were actively building assets while their main income paid the bills.
And a more recent one, Kat Norton, Miss Excel. She used TikTok and her corporate consulting knowledge to build a massive online course business. She didn't invent Excel.
No.
She just packaged existing knowledge and distributed it through new channels. The common thread is that the job provided the learning and the income, but the asset was built on the side.
And this is where the current environment becomes so key. Lynch calls this the intelligence economy. It's a step beyond the old knowledge economy.
Where what you knew was the main source of value.
Right. But in the intelligence economy, information is instantly available through AI. So what's the new source of value? It's how quickly you can apply that knowledge, how well you can adapt, and crucially, how well you can collaborate with AI tools. The successful people, Lynch calls them convergence players.
Convergence players. They're the ones managing the intersection of three things at once.
Yes. Skills, which now includes AI fluency, assets, meaning scalable digital products, and audience, direct relationships that let you bypass the big platforms. You need all three for maximum leverage.
And the most profound implication here is how it democratizes everything. Lynch argues that AI tools might be ushering in a golden age for generalists.
I mean, think about it. Incredible outputs coding, graphic design, complex analysis that used to be reserved for hyper-specialized experts. Now, a generalist who can just write a really effective prompt can get comparable results. It accelerates that learn, earn, own cycle tenfold.
And he makes this practical, not just theoretical. He puts actionable AI prompts right in the book, telling you to use AI to coach yourself.
Yeah.
Don't wait for a manager. Use the tools available right now to map your own career to accelerate your own projects.
Now, before we wrap up, we should be balanced. I mean, the assets ladder is a powerful idea, but there are some fair critiques.
Sure.
Focusing too much on complex frameworks, like his idea's scorecard, could feel a bit overwhelming if you're just starting out. And, the success stories are very biased toward digital and tech examples.
That's a fair point. But I think the real strength of the book isn't any one specific framework. It's the profound mental shift it demands.
I agree.
It moves you from passively climbing a preset path to actively building a value-generating engine.
That is the ultimate conclusion. Lynch sums it up perfectly. Your career is not a path to follow. It's an engine to build. It's about adopting the builder's mindset.
And if you need one last push, that quote from Nicholas Cole just nails the urgency of it all.
In the information age, the cost of inaction is going up because the cost of action is going down.
It has never been easier to start, but the penalty for staying dependent is rising so rapidly.
The time for passive reliance is over. The time for proactive asset building is now.
So we'll leave you with this final, provocative thought to explore. Considering the rise of AI tools and the potential for these billion-dollar, single-person companies, what single learning project could you start this week? Something visible, something shareable, that creates the foundation for your first true career asset.
Go build that engine.
Thanks for diving deep with us. We'll catch you on the next Deep Dive.